Makes me a very happy man to be able to stand here and say, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, on behalf of my wife and I, to welcome you to our wedding. And thank you sincerely for sharing this very special day with us. The length and distance some of you have travelled really does mean a great deal to us. Without you all here, it wouldn't make it the special day that it is. And we thank you very, very much. With all such occasions like this, there's always people here who can't make it, that we miss, and are in our thoughts. And I think of Auntie Bridie and John and my Auntie Mary, who unfortunately can't be here. And then there's always those family members who are gone and very much not forgotten, who are with us in our thoughts today and always. I would like to thank Gemma and Jessie for accepting me into their fantastic family. From day one, you've always been lovely to me and shown me great kindness, so I'd like to thank you both. Also, I have to say a big thank you to Alfie. Who's always put me in my place and let me know who's top boy for Nanny. But he has allowed me to marry her, so thank you, Alfie. I'd also like to thank my own 3 beautiful children for their love and understanding. You know, you've always made me proud. You're 3 beautiful kids, and I couldn't be more proud of you than I am today. Over the years, my mum particularly and my family have helped me through thick and thin. More thick than thin, to be honest. The love and kindness they've always shown me, the support they've always given me, is something that I'll always treasure, and I love you all very dearly. Right, now I get on to the bride. Oh, wait a minute. 3.5 years ago, I was one nervous, frightened man when Deirdre sent me off on a blind date. I got in a little bay restaurant in South Croydon about an hour early, so I could have a couple of sneaky ones. Settle my nerves. I sent Teresa a text. Grey hair, blue shirt, Billy No Mate, sitting in front of And then Teresa appeared from out behind a waiter, looking gorgeous. And we sat there, and the drinks kept coming, and we forgot to order the food. I think we've carried on. And ever since that night, I realised I'd met an exceptional person. And it gives me great pride to call her my wife. I'm sure you'll all agree today, when she walked in, she looked absolutely stunning. Right, now on to me best man. He did a wonderful job with the stag night. 39 of us, all dressed in Hawaiian shirts. Got us all back in one piece. But I never doubted his organisational skills. I've been on a few tours with him, and I've never got dehydrated once. Right, well that's enough about me. I'm now going to hand you over to Mark. I would suggest you don't take a lot of notice of what he says. And if you do, remember, he was standing right next to me, egging me on. More than likely handing me a drink. So, with a bit of trepidation, I hand you over to him. My best man, my brother, my best mate, and the best man I've ever had the pleasure to have a pint with.
I'd like to welcome you all here today to celebrate the wedding of Michael and Teresa Brown. Teresa Brown, I'd like to welcome you to our family. And must say you look absolutely stunning today.
Get out of the way.
I'd also like to welcome Gemma and Jessica to your new extended family. I'm standing here today and I do feel like a very lucky boy. Not only is Michael my brother, he's my best mate. We work together. Once we finish work, we go to the gym. I know you're looking at both of us and thinking, what sort of gym is that? It's a special gym where they give out free beer and donuts. And on a Friday we meet up in the Pembroke and we discuss the issues of the week over a couple of pints. We sometimes do that on a Saturday too. On a Saturday then we get our backs out and we swing them up the golf course with our pals. There's a few here today. But best of all, we like to go up to see the Crystal Palace, which we've been doing for 30 years. And while I'm mentioning Palace, I'd like to say a special hello to the Irish branch of the Crystal Palace supporters. My cousin Ian, he heads up the Dunboyne section of the Crystal Palace Supporters Club, and he did ask me if I could put "Stand up if you love Palace" in my speech. I don't think we can do that today, and we'll have to save that for tomorrow. Obviously, I've known Michael, obviously, best pals with Michael for 30 years, so to pick out a couple of highlights is very difficult, especially as most of them are quite blurry. But when we was in our 20s, the four brothers, me, Michael, Eamon and Nigel, and our brother-in-law Paul, we all played for the same footy team. And every Saturday we turned up, run around like loons for an hour and a half, and we really enjoyed it, and then we spent 3 hours in the pub afterwards analysing the game, which was much fun. We weren't the best team in the world, but we reached a couple of cup finals along the way. The highlight was Michael scoring the winning goal in the cup final. It was 25 years ago now, so my memory fades what the goal was like, but I'm sure if you see Michael in the bar afterwards, he'll happily ring it. A couple of years ago, once we got too old for footy, we took up cycling. A couple of years ago, we had the bright idea to cycle across Scotland. So we jumped on a plane, hired out a couple of bikes in Glasgow and set off for Inverness, 220 miles away. We were 5 minutes out of Glasgow and thought we'd best stop for a pint. As dehydration is a nasty business. We walked in the pub and there was a sign, £1.50 a pint for pensioners. We got to the bar, 2 pints please, that would be £3. We thought, well that's handy, we've only gone 2 miles and we look like a couple of pensioners. 200. Anyway, we set off round Loch Lomond, through the Trossachs, over the Kengal Mountains. Got to say the scenery was stunning and the locals were really friendly, but I think that's a story for another day. Believe it or not, we actually got mistaken for a couple of celebrities.
Well,
Gorgeous
Mr.
George Clooney and Mr. Bean. As part of the wedding celebrations, we had the stag and hen nights. The ladies all went discotecking up in London. a good night is had by all, but I didn't hear too much. I think they adopted the what goes away stays away policy. The boys did Honolulu Goes to Lingfield. It's a fantastic day, so whoever joined us today, thanks very much. You made it a really special day for Michael. And needless to say, lots of drink was had by all, but amazingly we all got back in one piece. Michael did have a tumble walking home, but luckily he fell on his kebab. It just goes to show that doner kebabs are good for you after all. I'd just like to say a few words about our Auntie Mary. Since we were kids, she's been the best auntie in the world to us. She's been really supportive, and she's 93 now, and she's living back in Ireland. She didn't feel able to make the trip. So I know she'll be back in Waterford today, and she'll be thinking about Michael and Teresa, and no doubt saying a few prayers. So what I'd like to do is propose a toast to Auntie Mary. Send our best wishes across the Irish Sea to her.
Thank you.
I'd also like to say thanks to, Michael did say it and I'd like to reiterate it, all the people who've travelled a long way today to celebrate the wedding of Michael and Teresa. Teresa's cousins have come over from Cavan to celebrate today. Claire has come all the way from Indiana in the States to be with us today. Sean has come over from Madrid. Cheers, Sean. And our aunties and uncles and cousins have come over from Kinnity, Faban, Dunboyne, Tremorton, Ulster City. Thanks all for coming. I couldn't stand here today without saying a few words about Nanny Brown. I don't think she'll appreciate me saying too much, and I think I'll be getting a Chinese burn later. But she's been the best mammy in the world to all her children, and I'd like to propose a toast to Nanny Brown.
Mrs. Brown.
We've all got loved ones that aren't with us today, so I'd just like to propose a toast to absent friends.
Absolutely.
Absent friends.
Absolutely.
And just finally now, I'd just like to propose a toast to the happy couple, Michael and Teresa. I wish you all the best in the future.